I was not hyped about these, not even a little bit, until I put them on my feet. And I was like, oh my gosh, these might be bonkers.
Bonkers?
Bonkers, man. Like, I don't want to keep using the same words and shit. These are so dope. You know what I mean? Like, that's all I say. Oh my God, those are dope. But yeah, man, look at these. These are wild. Hey, what's good, guys? My name's Chris. Welcome back to the official WearTesters.com YouTube channel. Today we got a detailed look at these potential bad boys right here. This is the Nike Air Zoom BB. I do not like that they changed Zoom Air to Air Zoom. I just don't. It's been Zoom Air since forever, and then just all of a sudden, they're like, actually, Air Zoom. You might as well just change it back to its original name.
Which was?
Tensile Air. That was such a great time. But these guys right here, man, these just, when I first saw pictures of these, when these were unveiled, I was kind of like, whatever. I like that they used the name, the Nike Zoom BB. That's one of the greatest Nike basketball models that I've actually never worn, because we were broke as shit back then. Like, we had our kid, our first one. I was working how many jobs?
Too many.
Yo, I'm serious, man. And were you working too at the time, or was it just me?
Can you give me a ballpark year of when it came out?
Let me just Google it. So I guess right around 2007, our daughter was what, like 1 or something like that?
Towards the end, so brand new baby.
Yeah, she was born in September of 06, and 07, I guess, is like, you know what I mean? And
I was not working.
Yeah, you were not working. I was working all over the place. So like, we were just broke. I wasn't playing basketball or anything because I had no time to. So yeah, so I did not hoop in any of the original Zoom BB models. I just know that they're a fan favorite. I thought it was cool that they were bringing back the model, kind of. I don't know if people really want the original back or not, but all I know is that that shoe at the time like was a beast. It had like full length Zoom. If it was a really low profile shoe, I think it had a double last midsole. So like the midsole's inside the upper. It had like all kinds of everything in it, and people just loved it. Good for indoors, good for outdoors, all that kind of stuff. This guy right here kind of feels like that. It doesn't look like that for sure, but it's just one of those shoes where as soon as I took them out, checked them out, put them on foot, and I was like, yo, like, we've been waiting for something like this. You know, even if these suck, like, we've been waiting for something like this for a minute from Nike. You know what I mean? The LeBrons was like the closest thing, where there was new in there where we were just like, oh, I'm kind of excited about this. I want to see what that airbag feels like. I want to see what the Zoom pods feel like. Now we got this one. This one's just wild, man. So on the bottom right here, this just looked like the Kobe 9 traction, you know? Doesn't look exactly like it, but it just looks like it's going to play that way. It also sounds like it too. I took these out on my kitchen floor. I know, that's a great test. And these things just screech like nobody's business, man. And sound means nothing, but it wasn't just the screeching. It was the fact that it was actually like tacky. It was gripping the floor like nobody's business. I was wearing the Jordan 11 Low IE, and that's a great shoe to hoop in. Nothing. They were silent. I think I got like one squeak out of them. Yo, check this. Kobe 9 level, maybe? Oh my gosh. So yeah, so this thing right here, it just feels like it's gonna be a beast. The grooves are a lot thicker than I thought that they would be. They're not 90s thick, but they're pretty thick for modern day traction. I do like the flex groove in there. This honestly feels like a running shoe made for basketball. Like, that's just how they feel. And then the cushion on these things, you can kind of see them. You can kind of, they almost look like boobs.
It looks like the bottom of the LeBrons to me.
A little bit, without that gap there, which I feel is the reason why that shoe is not one of my favorites. Just because that thing kept splitting when I would go to stop laterally or maneuver laterally, and I felt like the midsole and the way that the outsole was kind of not decoupled but just weird, and I just felt like there was too much parts moving around, and it should have been a little bit more, you know what I mean? Because I don't have that problem with the LeBron Low. Granted, the 17 Low doesn't have the 4-foot pods, but I don't have that problem with the traction in those shoes. And so I just feel like that was, to me, like the way that I move on the court didn't work for me. These ones, they feel just crazy. I'm surprised that it's not visible. That's a Nike staple, is visible cushion, especially their visible technology or what some might consider their visible innovation. And they got everything enclosed in here. So I'm surprised that this isn't clear right there. As far as the way that it feels, you're gonna say something?
When I saw you try them on, I could see it bubbling out.
Definitely
like
on the lateral
expanding,
side. Yeah, so it's not hard or anything. And that's what I was gonna say, is as far as how it feels bouncy as and I was like, what the There is not a single Zoom unit visible, you know what I mean? And that's the part where I was kind of like, damn, this with this double layered. You see how thick that React midsole is?
You haven't even gotten to the best part yet.
Oh, I'm waiting for that, man. Just wait for it. But yeah, the midsole is double stacked and it feels fucking crazy. Like, it doesn't feel like, oh my God, I'm gonna like bust out of my roof of my house or anything like that, but it feels fucking good. And it doesn't feel unstable. So that's the main thing, except for right there. As soon as I put them on, I felt like my knees can invert a little bit. That's not a good thing. I hope that that's just something that you get used to because it's such a new setup. So I hope that that's like, as a player, like you put it on, you're like, oh, that was a little bit weird. But then, you know, you navigate through that on court. Now, what you were alluding to a moment ago is probably my favorite thing about these damn things besides the traction. And that's this guy right here, man. Not only do they got two giant Zoom units in the forefoot and a double stacked React midsole, but then they're just like, just in case you weren't like satisfied with the cushion, we're gonna give you a full-on removable React insole. I could take this out. This is not a midsole, okay? So this is not like a drop-in setup. I can't take a drop-in setup and put it in this shoe because that'd be a triple stack midsole. There's no way that you'd be able to fit your foot in there unless your shoe is way too big for you. But this right here, this is an insole. This means that I could take this if I wanted to and put it in any shoe I want. I can put these in some Jordan 3s, put these in some 4s. All of a sudden I got React in there. I don't even know what these joints are gonna retail for, but I already feel like I got my money's worth. I haven't even played in these yet. You know what I mean? Like I spent more to retail on these and I feel like, yo, I got a deal. Now the upper on these guys is pretty basic as far as modern day shoes. It's a textile, it feels good, it moves good and all that stuff. I think that the look of it is weird. That looks like the 95,
yeah.
The toe down view. Like the overall shape really reminds me of a mixture between that shoe and, is it Infinity React? Is that the newest runner? Or React Infinity or something like that? You know what I'm talking about, right?
I do. I'll put up the picture.
Okay, so that's the shoe. Like I feel like they took those two things and, you know what I mean? And like, boom, they're just like, but we're gonna make it for basketball. I really like the overlay stuff. While the textile is kind of like, whatever, you know, like they use this stuff on almost everything nowadays. The overlay is dope. It's all this iridescent stuff. The iridescent thing is not what's capturing my attention. It just reminds me of the snake scales from the Kobe 6, the polyurethane scales. I hated that when I first saw them. I was like, why did they make a shoe look like a snake? I understand the Mamba thing, but come on now, like you don't see, I was gonna say you don't see like goat hair on LeBrons or Jordans or anything like that, because those are the guys that people consider the goats. That's probably gonna happen eventually. They're gonna run out of ideas and they're gonna be like, you know what, he's the goat. Okay. But it was one of the features on the Kobe 6 that I ended up really loving because they made that upper very thin and very, I don't want to call it brittle. It was ripe for ripping. Anybody stepped on your you'd be all those scales protected that material underneath it, and I thought it was pretty smart after the fact. And that's how I feel about these. It just reminds me of that, and I'm like, man, this is cool, man. You're never gonna get nicked back there. The toe drag area, even though I don't know if you're even gonna be able to drag your toes on this is a beefy toe. This is thick. The stack height on these things is crazy. This is not a normal basketball shoe. Now, I've heard things about certain people not liking, like people that have been like previously like testing these out, college players and stuff like that. And some of them don't like them, some of them love them. I don't know which one's gonna be me. All I know is that I'm just excited to try it. That's the main thing. Nike basketball, other than like the KD 12 and 13, I haven't been like super stoked, you know what I mean? Like the LeBron was the one, the 17. A little bit disappointed in them. Still a great shoe, but like I was just disappointed with that one aspect, you know what I mean? So this is like why I got into shoes, you know, because I love the tech that they put in there. I love the innovation. I love the way that some of this stuff feels, and I'm just excited to try these out. Now, as far as fit is concerned, I went down half a size just because that's what was recommended to me by some of our other WearTesters members, because they all have these too, Stanley and Jalik, and I did go down half a size. They fit perfect. I don't know if that's gonna be the case for everyone, but that's just what I did so far. These are dope, man. Even if these suck, just the concept is dope. One of the things that I wanted to talk about, but I didn't want to drag on in the video. I like that me and you get to talk about by the way. Like this is a small tangent, but just because like we see our retention time, like our view time per video, right? And people kind of max out at like 6 minutes.
Yeah, but it's grown.
No, it has grown, but it's the people that stay for the full 10, you get all the thoughts.
Yes.
And even then you still don't get all the thoughts because there's a lot of shit that gets cut out. This is the part where I'm like, hey, it's not a main topic point where like I don't want to like emphasize this thing, but I could talk to you about it. And then you, if you stick around, you're here to watch it. You know what I'm saying? So it's kind of cool. But this thing right here.
Oh, I was wondering why you didn't bring it up.
That's exactly why I didn't bring it up, because I didn't feel like it fit in with everything, because it's not really a tech feature. It's a small feature, almost like the flex screw, but the flex screw is very apparent. This guy right here I had seen after like I like messed around with him for a little bit, and I was like, what is this? And I just thought it was a really slick design move. But I talk about this every so often when certain basketball shoes have this slope because you crash and roll into your...
Yeah.
It could be one of two things. I like it because it lets you roll into your stride, but that's only really for heel strikers. I don't strike with my heel often. I normally strike with my heel as I'm trying to break. And as I'm trying to break, it's because I'm trying to set my feet to pop into a shot real quick, right? And so that type of thing helps me out just a smidge. It's not like a deal breaker. Like, you're not gonna suffer any performance-wise, like as far as your ability to play the game, if that's not there. It's just nice that it is there because everything's smooth going. And what they've added onto that is this weird little cut. This piece of rubber keeps going this way while this part slopes up, so this piece moves into it as you crash, only furthering enhancing that fucking react feel. I'm telling you, man, this is shit that you'd see on runners. Like, you would see this on a runner and be like, oh, that's how they made those so light and so comfortable. But what do you think about these?
I like the eyelets. They look like little sweat splats.
Like little ooze droplets or something, you know what I mean? Could be
a little Nickelodeon
yeah,
throwback splat.
exactly. I like the swoosh, like this one. The inside swoosh is kind of whatever. It's just the dots and stuff.
This is what's on the runner, which I'm totally
is it?
blanking on.
Is it the Infinity runner or
It's,
React
I always
Infinity?
invert it. It was either React Infinity, Run, Flynet, or something
Something
along
like that.
There's so many words in the...
Yeah, but they've got that same logo on the box.
Yeah.
And I just really like this logo. I think it's very interesting that it is on that running shoe. I don't remember what, I know what they look like.
I can see them in my pile right there.
Oh, they do. Yeah, see, so I don't know if it's like the same team or that's the language that they want to use.
They're like, this is our style point.
Right
Make
now.
it work.
Well, because you know how like a couple years ago it was the big swoosh.
Well, I also just kind of find it funny where I feel like this neon green, or what's the technical term for this green? Does it have a color name?
Usually it's called Volt, but I don't know if that's, they call it Lime Blast.
Lime Blast. But it's definitely their signature color. I feel like every time that they have a shoe where a person's name is not attached to it, they're like, Volt green. Like,
Volt was popping back in the time frame of the half cent. Like, there was that black and lime green or
it's
whatever.
just always recirculating, but especially in the last 2 years, every big premier running shoe, they're like, throw the green on there.
That's true. It gets your attention. This doesn't glow in the dark, by the way. We tried. I thought that it might.
Yeah, we tested.
But yeah, it doesn't. There's no reflective on here or nothing like that. But anyways, I'm not sure exactly when these are releasing. I think it's like on July 20-ish, something, like 25th or whatever. I don't know if it's gonna get pushed back or not, because right around that same time frame is a really dope retro, the GP12s. So I don't know if those will overshadow these. So we might see them move, we might not, I don't know. But all I know is that I'm so stoked, as if I wasn't already. Like, I cannot wait to finally play again. I really want to play in these, man. But that pretty much takes care of these guys. Just a quick look, first look, impression, whatever the f you want to call this. I might just start f***ing with these outside.
It looks like they could handle it.
No, I know. That's a thing. There's so much cushion here that it might be like one of those shoes. You know what I mean? Where it'd be like, hey, outdoor hoopers, man. Like, you might like these. You could run to the court and then play.
Right.
It's like a runner. So yeah, I'm just excited to try these out and stuff. Let me know your thoughts down below in the comment section. Thank you so much for watching. Thanks for all the support. We'll catch you guys on the next one. So until then, have a good one. Why am I instantly just hot? I am just instantly just like, whew, man, this is wild. Can't believe how warm it is all of a sudden. It's probably the dress.